coach, manager knows that one size does not fit all. It never works. And this is where we take our performance conversation then beyond the basics and into personalisation. We can't coach, we can't support, we can't speak with everyone in the same way. The way you give your feedback, the way you set goals, or even provide recognition needs to match the individual team members' preferences. So in this next segment, we're going to show you how leveraging behavioural preferences, how it can, whether that you do it through a formal profile, something like the Jigsaw discovery tool, for example, our behavioural map, or it's just to having that deep understanding of your people. But all this information allows you to tailor those pie check-ins to truly unlock the potential of each team member. And this will then obviously ensure that the team members, they feel seen, they feel respected, and that reinforces that status and fairness. So if we just take a closer look at how knowing their behavioural preferences can make your performance conversations even more effective, then understanding your team members' natural way of working, knowing their preferred communication style, their need for detail or not, how they prefer to receive information, how do they define success. All these things are the things that help you to tailor your pie check-ins. Again, minimizing threat, maximizing reward, having that positive impact on the scare domains. Before we look at a couple of specific examples where you can kind of see it in action, just a quick reminder, the Jigsaw Discovery Behavioural Framework simplifies human behaviour into 4 foundational behaviours. Now, it's not quite as simple as this. Once you actually build a profile and develop your own behavioural map, you'll see it's a little bit more complex than that. But if we, for the purposes of today, just think about these 4 different kind of preferences as 4 distinct drivers that describe how an individual prefers to focus their energy and attention, how they prefer to be approached, how they prefer to communicate, even down to specific words that actually will resonate more with a person of a certain preference than with somebody of a different preference. So each style, each preference has a unique approach to the pace, how fast you move, how fast you speak, and the priority. What are their personal key drivers, key priorities? So if we take team member A, this person thrives on structure and logic. Now, if you actually present in a rather, if you speak rather fast and you're rather vague with the information, then that is certainly going to trigger a threat response, a certainty threat response straight away. So it's thinking about how can we do this. So instead of saying, how's the project going? Be much more specific. Explain it, ask specific kind of questions, perhaps even provide an agenda before the meeting. Rather than talking about challenges with this person, we would need to frame a challenge as perhaps just a kind of a logical puzzle that their expertise can help you find solutions for. And when setting the expectations, the E of the pie, then very much focus first of all on the process, the detail, the timeline, and checking in all the time that the exact specific steps are very clear to that particular team member. Now, if we have a look at a second team member then, this team member is highly sensitive to kind of rules and policies, workload equity, transparency in decision making, and they need clear, consistent processes for promotion, for wage increases, for how work is assigned, for example, because It's very much an inconsistency, again, creates a certainty threat. They're looking for that fairness, that sense of belonging, of relatedness to the work. So we need to actually, be transparent about why decisions are made. Ensure that workload is perceived as fair and balanced. Prioritize that personal connection. So don't just launch in and start conversations about the work. Always start with the people aspect first. And ensure that the team culture that you're building and creating actually has that supportive element and feels inclusive to people. So there we've got two contrasting actual approaches, needs and wants, and how, as a manager, we need to kind of tailor, personalize, if you like, our approach, even though we're still using the pie model, but it's how we actually go beyond that to personalize it, leveraging the behavioural preferences.